Commissioner, for years, Joe Biden, Democrats, the fake news, they called your findings on the Hunter Biden laptop. You heard it right there. Russian disinformation, called you a liar, vilified you. Look what they did to Rudy. What do you think about this? Now, once again, here we are. Another proof that this was real. What do you think about this?
It's mind-boggling that nobody's going to be held accountable. Look, you have Chris Wallace and Leslie Stahl, media hacks for the Democratic Party. You have 51 intelligence officials that lied, that knew they were lying when they made those statements. You have the President of the United States, Joe Biden, knew he was lying when he made those statements. In October of 2020, Rudy Giuliani and I drove to Delaware and turned over a copy of the hard drive to the Delaware authorities, where we thought, we're obligated to report child endangerment, things we saw on the laptop. We turned it over to them. We understood they turned it over to the FBI. And I think what was most shocking about last week's testimony was that I found out the FBI knew a year prior that it was real. So I have some questions for the FBI. Why didn't they say so then? I have a question for Bill Barr. What were you doing? Why did you allow that to happen? Why did you allow and not say anything about the 51 intelligence officials? Why didn't you come forward and say that Joe Biden was lying? They were all lying. And Bill Barr and DOJ and the FBI all knew it.
You looked at the contents of the laptop. I know the mayor pretty well. He poured over it the gun form, the charges that Hunter's been convicted of, that he lied on a gun form, that he wasn't on drugs. That's the least of the alleged crimes here. I mean,
honestly, Lydia, that I was just going to say that's the least of what was on the hard drive. The child endangerment, the FARA violations, the tax fraud, the concealment and suppression of income, the communications between Hunter Biden and his father, personal communications about deviancy that he was being that was alleged against him by social workers. This is insane that everybody knew it was real and everybody lied. No one's being held accountable. And what did they do? They targeted Steve Bannon. They targeted Giuliani. They've targeted me. They've targeted everyone that tried to get the truth out about that laptop.
What do you think about the 51 intelligence officials that they signed off on this? I mean, they still have their security clearance. And
yeah, but
don't
why?
They owe, don't
why,
they owe?
Yeah,
why?
Why did they have those security
Rudy
clearances?
An apology? Yeah.
Well,
What do you think about
Lydia,
this?
it's beyond. It's actually beyond an apology. They violated U.S. law. They violated their ethics rules, their own ethics rules for the agencies they worked for. The president sent letters to through his attorney, Tim Polatori. They sent letters to each individual agency outlining, their problems. Nobody said a word. They still have their clearances. They've never been charged with ethics violations, criminal charges, nothing. It's like the Democrats can run amok with criminality and not one person, nobody is held accountable.